Welcome back, students. Today is the session 12 from the chapter of units and measurement, and this is the Q&A session. And today I have taken this question in which we will be measuring the diameter of a steel ball using a screw gauge. And in this question, the screw gauge has got zero error. Now, in order to proceed further with this question, I would like to make you understand that what is zero error, and in the case an instrument has got a zero error, then how we have to find the dimensions of a particular object. So in this question, I have made these three figures here in order to make you understand about the zero error. So first thing is that uh, I will be today discussing about the concept of zero error in the case of a screw gauge. Now, in the case of a screw gauge, if the zero mark on the circular scale, this is the circular scale. Again, I have just made one diagram here of this screw gauge here. This is the circular scale, and this is the pitch scale, and this is the pitch scale. So here you will see that there's one line which is called the datum line. So if this anvil and the spindle, when they are brought in contact with each other, they are also called by the name of jaws. That is, when the two this anvil and the spindle, or the two jaws of this screw gauge are brought in contact with each other, and if in that case the zero of the circular scale and the zero mark on the datum line of this pitch scale, they are coinciding, then in that case there is no zero error in the screw gauge. अगर जीरो मार्क जो आपके सर्कुलर स्केल पर है ये, और जो आपके पिच स्केल के पे एक ये जिस डेटम लाइन है इसके ऊपर जो आपके ग्रेजुएशंस हैं, तो इसका अगर जीरो मार्क, that is the zero mark on the datum line of this pitch scale and the zero mark of the circular scale, they are coinciding when the anvil and the spindle or the two jaws of the screw gauge are brought in contact with each other, then in that case there is no zero error. So in that case, the dimension of any object will be equal to main scale reading. Main scale reading is the pitch scale reading. Main scale reading, or I will write it here as pitch scale reading, plus circular scale reading into the least count of this instrument. So this formula is applicable when this instrument does not has any zero error. Okay? But many a times by the when the instrument gets old, or when the instruments are not calibrated, then in that case what happens, these sort of instrument like the screw gauge and this vernier caliper, they develop these zero errors. And the zero errors are basically are of two types. That is called, one is called the positive zero error, and the second one is the negative zero error. Now in the case of the positive zero error, what happens that when the anvil and the spindle or the two jaws of the screw gauge are brought in contact with each other, or when they touch each other, then the zero mark on the datum line of this pitch scale, the zero mark on the datum line of this pitch scale can be seen with the eye. ठीक है, आप देख सकते हैं, यहाँ पे भी मैंने देखिए बनाया हुआ है कि ये जो जीरो मार्क है आपका इस डेटम लाइन के ऊपर, विच इज ऑन दिस पिच स्केल, ये इट इज क्लियरली सीन हियर. एंड सेकेंड थिंग इज दैट द जीरो मार्क on this circular scale, this is the zero mark on the circular scale, in this case lies below this datum line. ये जो datum line है उसके नीचे आपको ये zero mark दिखेगा. That is, the zero mark on the circular scale will lie below the datum line of this pitch scale in the case of positive zero error. That is when the that is when the anvil and the spindle, when they are brought in contact with each other, and when this zero mark on the datum line of this pitch scale is visible, and when the zero mark of this circular scale is below the datum line of this pitch scale, then in that case we get a positive zero error. Now when zero error is positive, when zero error is positive, then negative zero correction is applied. Negative zero correction is applied. मतलब हुआ इसका, अच्छा, what is zero correction? Zero correction, let us say I am just writing here as ZC. Zero correction is equal to the coinciding circular scale reading, coinciding circular scale reading into the least count of that instrument. तो ये आपका zero correction हो गया. Now when the zero error is positive, then negative zero correction is applied. The meaning here is that the dimensions which we have measured by using this instrument which has got the zero error, so in the case of a positive zero error, the dimension will be equal to the main scale reading, that is in this case it is a pitch scale reading, plus the circular scale reading into the least count. The negative, now in the case of positive zero error, the negative zero correction is applied, that is the value we will be subtracting this value, that is the value of the zero correction from the measurement which we have got from this screw gauge. So that will be equal to minus ZC, that is the zero correction. Okay, so this is the value of the dimension of any object in the case of a positive zero error. Okay, now in the case of a there is one more thing, that is called the negative zero error. In the case of the negative zero error, I have clearly written here is that the zero mark on the datum line of this pitch scale, the zero mark on the datum line of this pitch scale is not seen. वो आप देख नहीं सकते, वो छुप जाता है. ठीक है? और what happens that the zero mark on this circular scale, you can see here, this lies above the datum line. This is the datum line, so this circular mark, that is this zero mark on the circular scale, can be seen above the datum line. So in this case what happens, this is the case of a negative zero error, and in this case the positive zero correction is applied. That is the dimensions which we have measured of that particular object. From that, what we will be doing is that we will be adding the zero correction in the case of this negative zero error. That is, in the case of a negative zero error, the zero correction jo hai, it will be positive. That is, whatever dimensions we have measured with the help of that particular screw gauge, in that dimension we will be adding the value of the zero correction which we have measured. So this is in the case of the negative zero error. So now after explaining these the positive zero and negative zero error, now I will be taking up this question. Now this is a question which has been asked in the IIT mains examination also. Means similar type of questions has been asked in the IIT mains examination, and now if you have understood this concept, then it is very easy to solve it. Now here we have to find the diameter of the steel ball. So here the question is, a student measures the diameter of a steel ball using the screw gauge. The pitch of the screw gauge is 1 mm and it has got 50 divisions on the circular scale. When the jaws of the screw gauge are in contact with each other, जैसा मैंने अभी आपको बताया, then in that case the zero of the circular scale lies 6 divisions below the datum line. The zero of the circular scale is lying 6 divisions below the datum line. This is the datum line, and so the zero of the circular scale is lying 6 divisions below the datum line. So in this case, and second, when the steel ball is placed between the jaws, अब हम क्या करते हैं? We are now placing one steel ball between the jaws, or you can say between the anvil and the spindle. So when the steel ball is placed between the jaws, the 3 linear scale divisions are visible. That is 3 divisions on this pitch scale is visible, or in that case we can say that is the pitch scale reading is equal to, or this is also called as main scale reading. This will be equal to 3 mm. ठीक है, and the 31st division on the circular scale coincides with the datum line. The 31st division on the circular scale is coinciding with the datum line. So in this case, the diameter of the steel ball will be equal to the main scale reading, which is equal to 3 mm, plus the circular scale reading, that is CSR, into the least count. Now, in this case, the jaws of the screw gauge, when they are brought in contact with each other, the zero of this circular scale is lying below the datum line of the pitch scale, is lying below that. So it का मतलब क्या हुआ? What is the meaning of is that? The meaning of this line is that this instrument has got a positive zero error. So in this case, we will be applying the negative zero correction, that is minus ZC, where ZC is the zero correction. So in this case, now this is the equation which we have got, that the diameter of the sphere will be equal to 3 mm plus CSR, in that is the circular scale reading, into the least count of the instrument minus this zero correction. Now we have to find this least count, because यहाँ पे circular scale reading दी गई, least count अभी हमारे पास में नहीं, तो the least count is equal to the pitch of that instrument of the screw gauge divided by the number of divisions on the circular scale. Pitch divided by the number of divisions on the circular scale. So this is the formula for calculating the pitch of a screw gauge. So the pitch will be equal to, this is the formula for calculating the least count. The least count is equal to pitch divided by the number of divisions on the circular scale. So pitch is given as 1 mm, and the number of divisions on the circular scale is 50. ठीक है, so ये हो जाएगा 1/50, which is equal to 0.02 mm. So the least count of this screw gauge is equal to 0.02 mm. So now I will be just I will write this least count here, that is least count is equal to 0.02 mm. ठीक है, ये हमने निकाल लिया है. Now we have to find the value of zero correction. Now zero correction is equal to least count into the coinciding circular scale reading. Now the least count is equal to 0.02 mm into the coinciding circular scale reading, that is when the jaws of the screw gauge are brought in contact with each other, then in that case the sixth division, it is written that the sixth division is when the jaws of the screw gauge are in contact with each other, the zero of the circular scale is lies 6 division below the datum line. So the coinciding circular scale reading will be equal to that is 0.02 mm into 6. So this will be equal to 0.12 mm. Okay. So we have found the value of the zero correction. I will just write it here now. Zero correction is equal to 0.12 mm. Okay. So this is the formula for the zero correction. Zero correction is equal to least count into the coinciding circular scale reading. So here least count is equal to 0.02 mm and the coinciding circular scale reading will be equal to 6. So now the diameter of the sphere, this steel ball will be equal to 3 mm plus circular scale reading. That is when the steel ball is placed between the jaws or between this anvil and the spindle, then 3 linear scale divisions are visible. So that is the pitch scale reading or the main scale reading is equal to 3 mm plus and 31st division on the circular scale coincides with the datum line. So the coinciding that this CSR is the coinciding circular scale reading. So the coinciding circular scale reading is 31 into least count is 0.02 mm. Okay, this is 0.02 mm minus the zero correction. Zero correction is equal to 0.12 mm. So the diameter of the steel ball will be equal to 31 into point, ये हम करेंगे 31 into 0.02 which is equal to 0.62. So this is 3 mm plus 0.62 mm minus 0.12 which is equal to 3.62 minus 1.12 that is equal to 3.5 mm. 3.5 mm. So here we have been given 4 options here. That is first option is 3.6, B is 3.74, 3.55 and the last one is 3.5. So the correct option is D, that is 3.5 mm. So the diameter of the steel ball is equal to 3.5 mm in this case. So in this problem, what was important for you was to that you should know how to calculate the diameter or any dimension of an object in case an instrument is having zero error. So in this case, this screw gauge was having a positive zero error. So we have applied the negative zero correction, and the meaning of this negative zero correction is that this is the value which needs to be deducted from the value which has been measured with that particular instrument. And so in this case the diameter which was measured by that particular instrument was equal to, that is basically equal to what? That is equal to the main scale reading plus the circular, that is coinciding circular scale reading into the least count. So this is basically the value of this, or you can say the measured value of that particular dimension of any object. And now since this, in this case we are having a positive zero error, so a negative zero correction was applied. That is, from this value we have subtracted the value of zero correction. So this is the correct dimension of this steel ball, that is the diameter of the steel ball is equal to 3.5 mm. And these sort of questions are asked in the IIT mains examination also. So in this case you should have a very good understanding about the zero error. So thank you very much for joining this session, and in the next session I will be taking up another question on the same topic, but it will be pertaining to the vernier caliper. So thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye.